Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, councillors, officers, town clerk. Welcome to this meeting of the Recreation and Amenity Committee, Tuesday, the 16th of May. Item 1 on the agenda is the election of chair. Do I have a proposal for chair? Do I propose Kelly? Oh, well, go ahead.
I'd like to propose Kelly Linton.
Thank you. And do I have a second? All in favour? Thank you very much.
You'll be right, don't worry.
You was already in the chair, so you just got stepped out and then stepped back in.
It's like the okay.
But not as much fun.
Yeah, oh, it's more fun then. We try to make sure of it. Okay, item 2 on the agenda is election of vice chair. From the chair, I'd like to nominate councillor Jill Dodds. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, councillor Lambert. All in favour? Oh, sorry, any other nomination? All in favour? Thank you very much. Apologies for absence. We have apologies from councillor Sarah Candia, I believe, and we have councillor Rory Hunt substituting. There are no other apologies.
Oh, you're right.
The plans changed 3 times today. So,
You're flexible.
Okay, so item 4 on the agenda is declarations of interest. Are there any? I see none, so we'll move on to public participation. Councillor Reisman, is there anything you'd like to talk about on the agenda?
No, thanks. Well, I could.
Thank you. Yeah, we all have bets going on for the length of the meeting. Item 6, minutes of the last meeting. Are there any amendments, corrections, questions? I see none. Can I have a proposal? Thank you. All in favour of accepting them? Very much. 7, appointment of subcommittees, their terms of reference and membership. I believe we need, just like the planning committee before this, a little bit more time to decide which committees we want to keep and how we might want to run them. So I think that we should defer this to the next meeting of recreation amenities, which I'll propose from the chair. No, second. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much. Item 8 on the agenda is the progress report, which you'll find on page 11 of your agendas. The first item on this is the basketball court for Makings Recreation Ground. You can see that we have the SODC funding allocation, we have the Tesco stores of they've awarded theirs. I think it's time, now that we've got a new committee, perhaps to have a catch up with them. Town Clerk, I think that would be appropriate. Perhaps if any councillors are interested in attending, it should be open to those that would like to attend without us being a heavy-handed mob and remembering these are kids that have run this campaign. But if anyone is interested and would like to come and help keep these children enthused and keep this project on track, then I think we should arrange a catch up.
Madam Chairman, I know very little about the background. Who is the original proposer? Is it the kids or?
Yes, so a young lad originally came to RNA, didn't we, to present this idea, and was tasked with going off and getting some support, which he did. They had a petition and everything.
So it's authority.
And then funding has been given. We've obviously given.
How much are they after?
Do you know the total amount?
So the total cost is around about 15,000. So they came to us with the idea. We went away. We did all the costings. Worked it up. We did the public consultation on it, and we have achieved about 13,500 worth of funding. Although a lot of that is also from our own funds. The idea being that the original didn't want to disenfranchise the original proposal by doing all the fundraising ourselves, and so they're tasked with raising about 10%, which is about 1,500.
Could I suggest that they ask Thamesfield Youth Association?
Absolutely. So if there's a shortfall, we will find out what's missing.
Yes, and if they write to Thamesfield, you know, Liz Hodgkins, the secretary, it reminds me very much of the skate park in 2011 when the kids came to us, the scouts came. And so they like the skate park, and 6 years later, they've got this Olympic standard skate park. And that was driven by the scouts that first came and the skateboard, wasn't it? Remember? Yeah, yeah. So, I'm sure if they put in a reasonable request that Thamesfield would.
That's fantastic. So if we have catch up, we can
So will
suggest
you
that.
communicate? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, that's brilliant. Riverbank repairs, you can see there's no progress to update currently. Councillor Everton.
This is, keeps getting put on there though, no progress. There must be some sort of progress. There must be something you can put on there that we're actually where we're moving forward.
Not really, it's down to resources, really. There just hasn't been the time to progress it. The one aspect that we have kind of taken out to kind of expedite, which is the step into the river,
Yeah.
that has been.
Yeah, I can see that, that's been moved forward, yeah.
Yeah, but we need more resources.
In what way?
So for example, since the last RNA meeting, just off the top of my head that I can think of, we've had an election and a completely different change of administration at the town council. We've had mayor making the coronation. There was something the week before the coronation as well, I forget. But it's been the Mayfair, that was it, thank you. So it's just been one thing after another, which has taken the resources of pretty much.
But this has been on there for over a year.
So, so the riverbank, oh, sorry.
No, you carry on.
So it would usually be dealt with by the parks team or by the estates team altogether. They don't have the resources currently. One of the major reasons is doing a lot of improvement work at the cemetery, which is basically taking up one member's staff time, all of their time basically, even though they're a part-time member of staff, for example. So because they weren't able to, because they didn't have the resources to manage it, those past to me. Originally, that was when we were getting the adventure golf up and running. Again, that was something that the estates and parks team didn't have the resources to be in-house. So I led with, and obviously that was a major project for those 18 months getting, and obviously there's ongoing resources needed to keep it going as well. And so that slowed it down originally, because not only did they not have the resource, but the one person to fall back on, myself, I was already dealing with another major project. So that slowed it down. That was back in the last April. And then since then, there's just been just so much work on. We just don't have the resources at the moment.
So at some point in this year, we have something on there so we can actually moving forward. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Jackson.
Being new to the committee, I don't understand how these things are prioritised. Is there a specific protocol? So for instance, with riverbanks, compared to the work of the cemetery, how do you put them into a hierarchy?
It's a good question. I suppose there's no formal process of prioritising it. It really kind of comes down to talking between ourselves with senior management and councillors. Often it will be the balance of risks, I suppose, with things like the riverbank repairs. There's as far as I understand, there's no immediate risks there, although the risks are quite high if something does go wrong. But something like the cemetery, it's since the town council inherited it, is in a poor state, and the risks there of something going wrong are very high, and they have gone wrong quite badly in the past, and we want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So there is a kind of a risk assessment to prioritise them, but not a formal process.
But with the adventure golf, for example, there was a very heavy steer from this council to prioritise that project.
Okay.
Absolutely, there was, you know, I think that would take
I only asked, sorry.
hit for that.
I only asked because when I read riverbank repairs, that sounded like a health and safety issue by comparison to a cemetery issue. So if there is a process and a risk is being taken on board, then
Oh.
Can I ask, sorry, forgive my ignorance being new on here, what is the nature of the repair that needs to take place? And second, I think I should probably, my knowledge of people on the river, I can tell you that any piling work or major work that you need is likely to be delayed now because of the river conditions has pushed almost any major project back going along the river. So we can expect lead times for supplies to take a lot longer than usual.
So there's significant amount of riverbank that needs some work. Some of it is, most of it is, what's the word? Aesthetic? Yeah, cosmetic, that's it, cosmetic. Most of it's cosmetic and it's not a real health and safety issue. And some of it's about what we need to be or think we need to be providing, such as, proper mooring hoops and things like this. Because there are quite a few of those missing, for example, but there's no major health and safety concerns.
Yeah.
That'd be fair to say.
I think so. Becky did a lot of work on this a couple of years ago. Might be able to add something to it.
I think over the years, there's been piecemeal repairs to riverbank, and I think the idea is to have it standardised. But we've had various people look at it, and there isn't a fear of collapse currently. So, and also we know that we're going to have to talk to the EA quite in depth about any works we do. So we've got to get it right before we approach them, hence the time required to get it right.
Thank you both.
Are there any other comments on anything to do with the progress report? I see none, so we shall move on to agenda item number 9, which is the finances, and you'll see the management accounts up to February this year.
One question. It's on the 60 Plus Club. And it's the income. Is that from the
One
solar-
meeting, please.
Is that from the solar panels? It is.
Yeah.
Do you know, we're always asking, what are those solar panels earning for us? Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, you see that line there, 492,650, that line there, yeah.
Worth having solar panel.
And they were some of the first to ever go up in Henley, so, oh, that's good. I'll report that to our meeting next time then.
And of course, that doesn't reflect the total value of the solar panels. That's just what we get from the feed-in tariff.
From the food, yes,
It
yes.
doesn't reflect the savings. Does it?
We could have had that on the from Lightningham Pavilion as well, but only councillor Riceman and myself were in favour, I think, at the time, so.
Or on the.
Maybe we'll
yeah.
bring it back, maybe we'll resurrect that idea and use the income from the 60s Club to get there in the end, yeah.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments, anything to do with the management accounts? Oh, councillor Hunt.
Just out of interest, insisting on income free use, what does that mean?
Okay, so do you want to explain actually? 'Cause
Oh,
you'll do it.
no.
No.
So we obviously hire out the King's Arms Farm, the upstairs room for hires, as we do with other rooms in the town hall. There is for most people, they just pay a flat rate to use it. However, we have a list of local organisations and charities that qualify to receive basically have it free, and we do so by accounting wise. We pay ourselves, so we pay ourselves out of almost a grant pot, and that then goes into the income for that, so that we can reflect it as the value that's being.
That's what that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions? I see none, so we'll move on to agenda item 10, which should be the old fire station gallery fund. You'll find this on page 17 and 18, along with the police self-explanatory report from Becky. Are there any comments? Anyone wants to open? Do you want to speak to the report, Becky? No. Unless there are any questions. In that case, would anyone like to? I think we should go ahead with it. Thank you, councillor Dodd. So that's the proposal. I'm happy to second from the chair. Does anyone want to say anything at all before we move this to the vote? I see absolutely nothing.
I wanted to say a couple of things, really.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I didn't have a chance to read my agenda tonight, so this is the first time. I'm quite happy with this, but there is a lot of work needs doing in the fire station, and I don't think this covers everything that needs doing.
No, this is just about the signage. It's not
Yeah, I
about
know.
all the work.
I know
yeah.
there's loads of work in there. That needs to be done inside, and I've spoken to a couple of people that hired it out, and they pointed out certain things that could be done in there. But being the roof being one of the main things. And then obviously sweep the roof over, sort the walls out. And you could stud the walls and all that sort of stuff, but yeah. I'm quite happy with this, but there's a lot of work needs to go into that fire station. And it's the longer you leave it, the more it's going to cost.
I did receive an email a couple of weeks ago, actually, which I forwarded on to the town clerk at the time from one of the hirers about some of the work that was suggested for inside or suggested it needed repair. So I believe it's certainly on the radar that more work needs to be done. Okay, all of those in favour of this signage? Yeah. Thank you very much. That's passed and meeting